Welcome to Intelligent Artifice, the podcast that helps you become a 10x performance marketer. Intelligent Artifice explores the cutting edge of the intersection of AI, creatives, and performance marketing. Every week, we deconstruct the ad systems behind high-performing advertisers using our in-house semantic analysis system, BruteForce.ai, or we sit down with top operators redefining how advertising gets done in a generative AI world. Whether you're scaling user acquisition, leading a creative team, or building a creative engine with AI, this podcast is your unfair advantage. Intelligent Artifice is hosted by me, Shamant Rao, the founder and CEO of the boutique growth marketing agency, Rocketship HQ. You can find out more about us at rocketshiphq.com. Our services are ideal for advertisers spending over $50,000 a month on paid social. Check out the podcast website, intelligentartifice.net, or our newsletter, intelligentartifice.kit.com. Our guest today is Yves Benchimol, CEO and founder of free mobile app that turns walking into rewards. Recognized as one of Forbes' top 20 French leaders in 2024, Yves brings over a decade of experience in tech innovation from ML to AI-driven retail solutions. I'm excited to welcome Yves Benchimol to Intelligent Artifice. Yves, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yves, I'm so excited to have you, in part because I think you guys have sustained so much growth through AI. And I've been very impressed by how you guys have adopted and implemented AI across your team, even though you're not an AI first product per se. And there's just so much that I think everyone can learn. There's so much that I learned even just from the preparation call that we had before this. And for all of those reasons, I'm excited to have you on the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
Excellent. Something you mentioned when we spoke in preparation for this call is that you're going to be hiring a chief AI officer, which is a very unusual decision. Also because you're still relatively small compared to a lot of bigger companies. So tell me a bit more about why you created this role. What does success look like for this person over the first 90 days?
Sure. I think today every company should have like an owner of the topics. And the fact is, as you said, we are not like an AI first company. We are like a mobile app that is mostly a wellness app. So we use AI in many parts of the product, but AI is touching like every part of the business. It's touching of the product, but also the support, the marketing, the revenue team, even the admin team. Every team in the company, AI can definitely improve and scale the automation, scale the performance of every people in the company. Having someone that owning this subject, I think is really important in every company because it will give to every team more ability to scale without like hiring tons of people and scaling efficiently. And so I can help almost everyone. So having someone dedicated to that will be able like to understand the topic of every team, of every person in the company and try to find how AI can help them. So if we have to think about what is the success of the owner or the chief AI officer, it will be first where AI can be applied to improve efficiency, to save time of these people or to do like better things, then has to build the agents. Once the mapping has been done, then to build the agents and to be sure that the team adopt this agent and use it. And if after 90 days, you have already like few use cases where you have few agents that have been used by a few people of your company, then it starts to become a success. And then when you communicate internally about this success, other people will want. So I see it as a person that will be the enabler for every people in the company, tech and non-tech people, to use AI agents to win efficiency in daily job.
Sure. So it sounds like this person's almost like an external consultant, if you will, in that they're embedding with all of your teams, your product team, your marketing team, customer support, and they're helping almost like somebody in parachuting in to have them make agents and stuff.
We start with an external guy at the beginning, but you're right, it has to be someone that will work with almost every team, the people in the company, not at the same time, but we'll start with one team, potentially on different use case based on like where it can have the most impact. But the fact is, I believe that technology is evolving so much currently at a very high speed. So having an external consultant will be here for a long time, or having someone internally can also be an option.
Right. That makes sense. And I'm also curious how you see this person embedding with the teams day to day, because, let's just say there's a marketing team, they probably have a marketing lead or a product lead. I would imagine this chief AI officer is not the reporting manager for any of these people. So they don't have a lot of direct influence. Do you anticipate that to be a challenge? And how do you expect them to work with the teams day to day?
Today, we don't have internally a problem of someone in the companies that are like reluctant to like using the AI for any reason. So it's mostly someone that is here to help. AI is something that will help people to do the job better, faster, and to focus on what matters the most. And so people are very open to integrate AI into the daily job. So this guy is, okay, I'm here to help. He's explaining your job, explaining your daily task. What is like the repetitive task you do every week, every month? Where do you feel that you have value? Where do you feel that this kind of task is like less value, and how AI can help? And having someone expert in this subject will be able to understand the need, understand where AI can help, and which tool we need to implement. Is there something off the shelf that we can use that will solve this? And having someone expert in this subject will be able to allow the team members to be able to not have any constraint about, okay, this is too much work from terms of tech. I'm not able to do it myself. And this guy is dedicated. I can do it for you. We're going to work together and we're going to iterate to be sure that it corresponds perfectly to your needs. And the fact is that today, most of the tools off the shelf do not correspond exactly to the need because it's still like under development. So having someone that is dedicated to that and can have the skills to develop new features on top of the shelf solution is potentially the right solution.
100%. And I agree that a lot of the off the shelf tools, they exactly match what you need. In fact, on our team, we've basically written Python code to replace some of the SaaS tools that we had, just because the SaaS tools were good, but not perfect. And that makes sense to have something very customized for you guys. And I know you said the chief AI officer, one of the first sort of mandates is going to be to build agents for the individual teams. Also, because if there is a marketing manager, the marketing manager may not have the ability to build agents. So are there agents which are high priority for your chief AI officer that you're like, look, I think this agent is going to be really important for us to build? What areas do you think are the most important?
Sorry, say again the question.
So you mentioned that part of the job of the chief AI officer is to build agents to support the different teams. Are there specific agents that you have in mind which you believe will be very high priority?
So I think it depends. For sure, you have to, the first job of the chief AI officer or the owner of the AI tool in the company has to map where agents can be applied and where repetitive tasks. So of course, you have the classic use case people, especially for the sales teams, to analyze the clients they will talk with, to analyze past conversation, to understand the need to record different types of interview for HR. Also, it's very classic that can be applied to almost every company. And then you have specific use case. So for us, one of the specific use cases is the support team to answer user. So we build agents that connect our internal data with knowledge base of past answer to the user, our app, of course. We also see with so many articles we wrote to be able to provide the best answer to the user automatically. It was one costly department into our company where AI can have a lot of value, but the fact is like off the shelf tool cannot connect your API, your data. So this is why having an engineer and a chief AI officer connect all the dots can be the right solution. And today we win a lot of efficiency based on that, in terms of efficiency, in terms of time spent by team members, but also about number of answers we are able to provide every day, also the quality of the answer, and the result is also the satisfaction increase. Depending on your company and where you have biggest gap, it can change. But of course, the first job, and this is something that can take time, but is really important, is to map where AI can have the best impact, because AI, of course, cannot solve every issue every team can have, but there is some use case where it can be very efficient.
That's a very interesting point, because from what you're saying, the first thing to do is to map where the impact is the biggest. And you gave the example of the customer support, because that was very effort intensive. And that was a very obvious case that you guys did in the past. And I think that makes a lot of sense, because I think it's easy to throw AI at problems which are not very important. And it's very easy temptation to do. And you want to be careful about where you're throwing AI, right? And again, for your chief AI officer, you did mention you're hiring somebody with engineering skills, and this person needs to be an engineer. Why is that important as compared to, let's just say, having a marketer who understands AI, or even a vibe coder who understands AI? Why is it important for this person to be an engineer?
I believe this vibe coding or no code is great for prototyping, for like classic use case. But once at some point today, you're going to be stuck in the fact that you will need to connect your API. You will need to develop on top of this off-the-shelf solution some tool. And if you're going to know how to get it, it's going to be a constraint. Maybe in 2 years, it will not be the case anymore. But I think today, the development of AI needs some ability to connect that, do all of that. And so having an engineer AI is, I think, a bonus that will add value and will help you to get things more quickly. But if you have someone which is not like able to code on top of the off-the-shelf solution, of course, you will need maybe some support from an engineer at some point, not for every use case. So I believe it's better to go directly with an engineer. Please this is the choice we did in the company.
And makes so much sense because I have been vibe coding, and my experience is vibe coding gets you 80% of the way, but I need an engineer to go to 100% sometimes. And having an engineer just makes things a lot faster. And obviously, if the engineer understands AI so much better, it's so much easier as well. And now just looking at AI use and adoption across your entire team. Now, if you look at AI use and adoption across your entire team, are you noticing any cultural challenges per se? And because sometimes in companies, team members are like, is my job going to go away? Or more subtly, they're like, I'm not a technical person, I'm a designer. I don't want to deal with all this AI. So there could be such expectations. So how do you think about some of these?
This problem in terms it means that people feel that AI is here to replace boring tasks they can do, can help them to go faster or can help them to do their job, I would say, better, but they don't feel that replace them today. So what we did to make people comfortable with this is like we have what we call in the company a demo Monday. So every week there is like someone in the team that do a demonstration or an explanation of his job and everything. And there is sometimes topic around AI, how they use AI into their team, how they manage to increase their performance. So it's also part of the training to other team to understand that AI isn't here to replace them, but to help them do in their daily tasks. So it's very useful. We also offer training, we offer widgets to team to test tools, to of course use the license they need. We do also hackathons around AI. So it's basically external experts that come and help them to understand where AI can help them and understand new tools, new technology that can be used. And my job as a CEO of the company is, of course, to make them feel and to give them the time they need to understand this tool and to use it and to understand how it can help instead of having these worry articles where I say that your job will be replaced by AI. Maybe in a few years, your job will be replaced by AI, but today, for the next few years, I believe that if you're not using AI, you will just lose to the competition. So the goal is like to be early on these topics and be able like to be one of the best in the job with the help of AI.
That's so interesting. So it sounds like you're looking at it as how do you create the best conditions for the team to learn from via demos, via hackathons, and via external experts? How can the team learn so they can become good at their job using AI? That seems to be your approach. With all of this, I'm also curious about your personal experiences, because was there a point when you were like, okay, AI has to be very important to us as a team. It has to become a priority for our entire team. Was there a point when you realized you need to make this a priority for the company? I'm curious if you had any personal experience that led to the realization.
I think like everybody, like when we discover ChatGPT for the first time, everybody was impressed. And you understand when you discover this technology that the gap in terms. So I'm an engineer and I did study math. I was aware about like machine learning and all of that, but the computing power and like what the ability of the generative AI brings and how we evolved in the last 2 years is just so impressive that you understand technology is evolving and the way we work is evolving and everything is changing so fast. So you have to be early on these topics if you want to beat the competition. And I'm sure that in a few years will be like even much more powerful. So it's going too fast to not going now. And so we understand very easily that we need to be early on these topics. And so this is why we decided to allocate budget, trainings, hire people on that topic. Of course, we don't hire the engineers that do language of develop technology. We hire people that are able to understand how it works and how to use it. This is mostly what we need. And on the product side, we also develop AI stuff to personalize the experience. So for you, it's like more like long-term topics. But today, I think every team and every job will be reviewed with the angle of AI, where the AI will change the way they work and will change the way they do. And so the sooner you are on it, the better you will be tomorrow. And so this is how we communicate with people. If you want to be one of the best in your job in the world, you cannot do it without AI.
100%. And I'm also impressed by how you talked about all of the teams. Every part of your company and team is very actively using AI. And when we last spoke, you said AI can be the best intern for every employee. Are there a couple of examples that you can share for how AI is helping different teams at your company to get more things done?
For sure, you can think about this vision of a very smart intern, and like the AI needs to get the data. So it's like an intern that's coming into your company. You need to to feed them with the data they need. So if you go to ChatGPT and you create a project, you're going to need to feed the project with, I don't know, if you are the HR of the company, you need to feed them with the organization chart, you need to feed them with all of the current employees, you need to feed them with the challenge, the job offer, and all of that. And then you feed them with the curriculum, the resume you are receiving. He will be able to give you a very good feedback on these people. And this is how you're going to save a lot of time, because if you are receiving, I don't know, 50 applications for a job offer, feed them, and he will potentially select 3 to 5 that are the best fit for you. And you will save a lot of time by analyzing this. And this is exactly the job of the very good intern who has all the information and understand the need and do all of that. So this is a complete use case for the HR team. It works really well. You can, of course, it can do mistakes, but the better you get them data and information, the less chance you can have mistake on that. But I think for the HR team is one, we talk about the support team, but the marketing team is also about creative ideas, different type of testing of posting you can do, different type of platform messaging also. So all of that use, and every team has to be creative and to understand that the AI is like a very good intern, but a good intern needs to get information to be able to be efficient.
Makes sense. And something else I'm curious about is there's just a lot of different AI tools. They're exploding, right? Every day there's different tools coming up just around creative, just around editing or databases. So is there a way you personally keep track of a lot of the tools that's coming up? And at a team and company level, is there a way you guys evaluate this tool is good, or maybe we should not use it so much, or maybe, and I also ask this from my perspective because when I look at my SaaS bills, invoices, it just keeps adding up. I have to cancel subscriptions every month if I'm not keeping.
I think you have to be curious by yourself. For sure, you have to subscribe to newsletter. It can be yours, it can be other one. You have to listen podcasts. You have to like it to be curious. So if you like I'm passionate about new technology, I'm working on that. For me, it's not something I'm doing and I'm forcing myself to do. But some people, if they want, they need to be aware with news about that, listen to podcasts, understand how it's got used. And internally in the company, we developed the demo Monday. So it's a way for others to show to other people which tool they were using and what they were able to do. The hackathon, the training, and the fact that give budget to people, help them to be aware of that. But at some point, individual people, if they want to be early on that subject, they have to take care of it. And so for sure, as I said, if you want to be one of the best in the world in your job and one of the biggest experts, without AI, you have a high chance that someone will be better than you. So if you want, you have to use AI also to go faster on some tasks that can be automated by AI. So the goal for my team is, if you want to be the best one in the world in what you're doing, use AI as a tool to help you to be that guy. And so be curious, work on that, and the company will support you on that training and learning process by giving you access to resources, by giving you time, by giving you money, test some tools that need some subscription. So it's just a matter of being in an environment that lets you learn, but you have individually to want to learn. So it's a combination of both.
And what I'm also impressed about is how you said you're also very curious about new technology. And that's underappreciated, because I feel like I talk to a lot of people that are like, let's go to AI, let's do AI. And they're not really interested in technology. And I feel like just having that natural curiosity is just so important. And from my personal experience, I said, I've been vibe coding, I've been learning to code, and I'm like, this is exciting, this is good. And it's not just a cool thing it's not the next crypto, if you will. So I'm just very impressed by how you express that. Now, like I said, I'm very impressed by your approach across your team, across your company. Let's just say there was an external company that was like super impressed by V1. They're like, we want to copy your approach. We want to learn from your approach, maybe copy your approach. And what would you say would be the first couple of workflows they can automate, and how should they think about it?
So it's very difficult to me to think about what would be the first, but you have to find one with high impact and not too much effort, because for the first one, you don't want to spend 3 months to see the first results. So you have to find the high impact and the lowest where AI can help. Of course, there is some off the shelf that you can do for the support, for the HR. It's great to implement, and it's very common to many companies, starting with topics that has already proven years of company like we want, but others can be a great approach to start. But I think be curious, try to map where AI can help, try to understand the topic and test, read articles and newsletters of people in the test, and facilitate to start using off-the-shelf solution, find the limit of this off-the-shelf solution and start doing yourself.
Do you have any go-to resources or newsletters or anything that you like to read and would recommend to people?
So I think this podcast probably is very good learning, but I'm also reading a lot the newsletter of Lenny.
Oh,
It's quite good. It's not only about AI, but there is some topic, especially for product team, is very good. And I think it's a good start.
For sure. Excellent. Yves, this has been incredible. Thank you for taking us into how you think, how you work. I've taken a lot of notes, and I'm sure a lot of listeners and viewers watching this will take notes too. This is perhaps a good place for us to wrap up. Before we do, could you tell folks more about you and how they can find out more about you?
I'm the founder and CEO of a company called WeWorld, which is a mobile app that rewards people for working. So the goal of the company is to motivate you to do the extra mile, the extra steps. So we try to motivate people to be more active every day. So I encourage everyone to download the app if they want to see the work we are doing at WeWorld. You can, of course, follow me on LinkedIn. We have also an Instagram and a LinkedIn account for the company, but also myself. So it's easy for me. My name is Yves Benchimol. Yves is YVES, the French one. And yeah, you can ping me on LinkedIn. I'm quite responsive, and that's perfect.
Wonderful. And we will link all of that in the show notes. And now, thank you so much for being one of the first guests in the first season of Intelligent Artifice. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.